let's see. News is up. Okay, here's the sound beat. All right, here we go. Begins in 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait. No, that's right. 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Instance.
Everybody, welcome back to The Instance. This is The Instance episode 404. 404. Oh no, we have an error.
We didn't find it.
Show not found.
We know exactly where it is. Don't panic, everyone. Please do not send us messages saying you know where the show is.
Yeah,
okay?
Don't do that. That'd be a waste of your time, our time, and the time of the internet. It's me, it's Scott, it's him, it's Terpster, and that's it so far. We may get Dills later. He had an errand to do today for a friend, but he may pop in. Patrick is sick as a dog. That's what he claims.
Sounds like Patrick, though, doesn't it? Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do the French do when the going gets rough? They're
gone.
They lay down.
Can't see him for dust.
Yeah, they just lay down. But we're glad to be here. We got stuff to talk about. Although it is kind of interesting. It's sort of the biggest announcements this week, or I should say, the one big announcement this week has to do with one very specific thing.
Hefty, big announcement.
It's a big one, but the rest of the week, dry as a bone. Just not much going on. So we got a lot of calls, a lot of emails today, a lot of general WoW stuff, which we'll get to in a minute. But before we do all of that, I thought it might be fun because you and I are here, and we may as well do this now. We kind of have an announcement to make, and this is not, I guess, the official one, because when I make the official announcement, there'll be all sorts of links and places to go and stuff to do, and for people to sort of contribute. But I can tell you this, if you want to get in on it early, here's a good thing to listen to, okay? A while back, Terpster and I hosted a little show called Hypothetical Help. Some may remember it. A lot of people do fondly.
Some people remember it fondly.
Some do, yeah. We are relaunching it. It will have...
Say what?
Well, I know. It's
Why
crazy.
didn't you tell me, Scott? That sounds amazing.
I should have warned you about this before the show started today, that we're starting that show again. We are going to not reinvent, but we're gonna do that show again. We are gonna beef it up, tweak it up, make it awesome, and we're gonna run a little Patreon for it. It's going to be its own thing. It's kind of its own independent Scott and Terpster production. And We're super excited about it. If you were a fan of the show and you liked it, great. If you don't know what I'm talking about, sadly, the archives are not directly available anywhere, but they will be soon. So you can check out what we did previously and see if that's something you'd like to get on board with.
Damn right.
Yeah. Here's the cool thing, though. So what we did on that show is gave advice, like actual advice to a bunch of people.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not downplay it. We saved lives.
Yeah,
we did. There are people out there who were trying to figure out, hang on, I like eating, chips, but I also like eating sandwiches. And we're like, well, put those two together.
Yeah.
And you've just found yourself the best sandwich in the world.
Right.
And they're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That is,
yeah.
Thank you is all I can say is thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Mm. And we'd go on for 10, 15 minutes about the difference between chips and crisps and potato chips.
I Americanized that there. I meant in crisps on the English side, which is obviously chips on the American side.
Uh-huh.
And, that's the level. Like, we go that deep.
Yeah.
On this. People are saying like, oh, wow, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
How can I hear more?
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's how you can do it.
Follow.
You want to go, for now, there is you can go to hypotheticalhelp.com. It'll forward you to the kind of landing page where you can sort of bookmark where we're going to have all the links and stuff. That'll be up there soon. We'll have a sponsor for the very first 3 episodes, and from there on, you are our bosses. And if you want to get in early with the questions, these are life questions. What do I do about my girlfriend? My dog's ugly. Whatever it is, we're here for you, and you can start leaving those messages at the same phone number we use for the show, which is 801-471-0462. And if you want to be some of the first calls we handle, you can do that now, 801-471-0462. The Instance audience is getting exclusive access. Early access.
We love you. We love you.
That's right. So anyway, that's coming up. Watch for more information soon on both our Twitter feeds and all of that stuff. And that's it, I guess, on that. All right. You do anything in game?
That's all I gotta say about that.
You do anything in game this week of note, of interest?
Nope, just garrisons.
Yeah.
Just garrisons, sadly. I've been playing far more Hearthstone than I should do.
Yeah.
I managed to get all the way up to rank 9, and then I managed to go all the way down to rank 12, and now I'm back up to rank 10. And it's one of these things where I honestly don't think I'm ever going to win.
I saw this. I saw this on Twitter, and I wondered what was the. Where do you think the failing is? Like, you sound like a guy that went to Vegas and lost all his money.
No, honestly, I have no doubt. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars now on Hearthstone, like a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
And that is because I was hoping that there would be some correlation between money spent and games won. Sadly, said correlation has escaped me.
So wait a minute. This is what this is proven. I want this to be. I want to make sure people. This isn't going over people's heads.
No. Yeah, exactly. I'm a massive noob.
Well, not just that, but you have paid to win. So, quote unquote, the game lets people pay to win. That's one of its criticisms. Yes. But you have literally proven that you can't necessarily pay to win, while you have other like pro players who've never spent a dime.
It's less so pro players and more so players that are better than me, which is a lot of people. But certainly, the money helps you build a deck.
Yeah.
It doesn't help you play a deck. Practice, hopefully, will come, but by then the meta's changed and all of my information and knowledge is escaped.
Yeah.
I personally think that the way to legend is probably. And I'm just saying, I know Blizzard listens to the show, and they always do what we say because they understand.
Well, at least we know ideas. We know Holinka does. We're not sure about anyone else.
Holinka, but he's connected. We know that as well. We know that
he goes to
Brian's
lunch with
up
people.
there, and they're like, "What's happening, Brian?" And he's like, "I just had this completely original, amazing idea," and they're like, "Brian, are you parroting what the instance has said again?"
Yeah.
And he's saying like, "No, man, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Because that's how he talks now.
Right.
It's weird. And
it is weird.
And basically Brian's idea, is that for like $50 for a week, you can't lose stars.
Oh.
So for me, that I would be definitely up towards legend now. I've won 100 games.
Yeah.
But I've lost 100 games. So my star ranking's all over the place.
Yeah.
So I think if I was able to pay to secure and retain my stars, or maybe even I wouldn't even mind if I couldn't lose rank. So I could go down to 0 stars in a rank, but as soon as I ratcheted it up, I was safe.
That is frustrating, isn't it? That's like there's nothing quite like that feeling of losing a couple of ranks.
But the thing is that would be the ultimate pay to win. Yeah, everyone would be like, "Oh, OMGs!" And if they disabled the card back or something like that, if you did that, I then wouldn't be interested. I only want the card back.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the happy place is. But Blizzard's all about trying to, look at something and be like, "Oh, maybe we could do it this way with the players like that." They're smart. They're not going to make short-term choices anyway. They're not going to do something at the cost of a good game or a good player base. And so they know that anything they do that jeopardizes that isn't worth it, no matter how much money you think it might make.
True.
Because long term, you're always going to lose out. Yeah. So, I hope that they maybe they enable it for my account and I just pay them directly.
Yeah.
Again, if you're on the dev team on T5, just let me know, and I'll quite happily deposit a huge amount of money into your private offshore bank account.
Pretty sure Lindsay listens. She listens, so she's got the.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
The only downside to that is that Jocelyn from the Angry Chicken.
Yes.
She is kind of. We have a friendly rivalry, I would say.
Yeah,
and
I've seen it from afar. I like it.
Currently, she's whooping my ass.
Yeah.
And Lindsay has already pledged herself to be on her side, and so I kind of feel like it's not really fair. But at the same time, I think that the real problem here is that I just need help.
You may need to call hypothetical help yourself, and
I might exactly. But the thing is, I know that the answers that I will give me are no good.
Right.
They're not going to help anyone.
No, they're not.
Well, they will help some people.
Sure.
But just not me.
Yeah, that's why psychologists and psychiatrists never treat their own family. It's the same problem. You can't treat yourself or the people you come from. So it's good advice. My sister told me that once.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, and also if you're, a bit of a charlatan,
Yeah.
you don't want people who know where you live.
Yeah.
That's what I've kind of thought.
Fair enough. Watch out, Bristol. So the other, I was supposed to raid yesterday and didn't, and it sucks because I was complaining last week how I have gone, 13 raid nights without any loot or something. And of course, last night I had something come up with the kids. Couldn't raid. Told them all.
Everything dropped.
Yeah. Well, the bow I wanted dropped. That's really all I really wanted was the bow, and it dropped.
What's the
of
bow
course.
called? What does it
I don't
do?
know. It's the one freaking Bracken Spore drops. I forget the name.
Okay, yeah.
It's just better than the bow I have. So, that pissed me off because everyone tweeted
crystalline branch of Brackenspore.
That's the
Is that
one.
the one.
That's the one. Yep. And I want that, and I was gonna get it, and
Looks a bit janky. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like how it looks. I would immediately transmog, but I just need the gear. So I was stoked about that, and then it didn't happen, and it dropped, of course, while I'm not there. And guess what? It won't drop next time. There's no way. It's just not going to happen for me. RNG hates me.
Why would it need to?
Well,
Exactly.
I want the damn thing.
There's no, but it's already dropped, so it doesn't need to drop again. It
Yeah,
knows.
true.
It knows that if you're there, it's not going to drop. But if you're not, it will drop again.
And Foundry, which we did, we've done a couple of attempts and killed, I guess, first boss. Now I can't remember what we finished, but the trash in there is just sucks. I hate the trash in this new stuff. I know eventually it'll be easy. You'll just tear through it. And I know LFR is all about tearing through it, but with the raid team, it's just I don't know. Trash since. This is the eternal argument. Every time there's a new patch out, or anytime there's new raid content out, we all complain about the trash. It doesn't matter how good or bad the trash is. We all complain. So I get it. I understand. I'm just ringing the same bell that's been ringing since 2004. But sometimes I don't know. I just feel like trash for trash sake. I kind of makes sense to me because you need something to kind of get through. I get it. Otherwise, you just can't go boss to boss to boss. Everything can't be Trial of Champions. But there are times where I wish that trash would just go away because that stuff's terrible.
Yeah.
Hey Brian, another earworm for you there, buddy. Go pass that on to the raid team. That's it. Let's get into the news. There is some news, and it's significant, at least part of it. So here's that right here. BlizzCon 2015, November 6th and 7th. Tickets are on sale April 15th and April 18th. So they're doing it in two chunks again. And, it's funny. I was predicting, and I think you had kiboshed this, if I recall. But I was.
All right, here we go.
I was predicting that there would not be one this year because it felt like one of those years like 2012 or 06 or whatever it was. I was convinced that they had not enough to show. They could announce a new expansion, of course, but everything else is either a known quantity or in beta, or there's not really much else to make a big blast with.
They don't have to announce though. You just have to have a party. But equally, Overwatch we know is going into beta in the fall.
Yeah.
So there's bound to be something fantastic.
You're totally right. I just come to the conclusion, at least yesterday it hit me, that we'll never not have a BlizzCon again because it's all about the esports now, and they will continue to have all of their big world championship finals stuff at BlizzCon because why not? And now they have so many games they can do that with. Hearthstone, Heroes, whatever. StarCraft 2 continues to be that thing, I suppose. They're not going to... I don't think they ever miss again. That is enough to justify it, I think.
I don't think they'll miss for any other reason other than, whoops, we forgot, or we haven't got bandwidth. And I can't imagine for the company size they are that's likely to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
So, I hope so. And to be honest with you, BlizzCon is, one of the highlights of the year for me.
Yeah, I love it.
And I hope to go again. It's always one of those things where you've got to weigh up how amazing it is versus the cost of it.
Sure.
But you always, when you're there, you never regret it. When you're actually in that moment and you're like, wow, this is so cool.
Well, it's a bigger ding for you guys because you got to come all the way here, man.
Oh, exactly. It gets expensive, but the virtual ticket is really good as well. And that's the only other problem as well, is that when you are excited about the news and all of that, those sorts of things, you are catered for very easily through the virtual ticket.
Yeah.
But when you start looking down other routes, that's when you start getting the opportunity to, it's all about kind of meeting people and having a good time. Yeah, you can't really go too far wrong.
Well, I have scheduled my flights and my hotels stuff already.
Wow.
Because if you don't get what you want. I want to be in the Hilton again, so that's what we did. I think we're taking the kids this year, which will be a blast. They are freaking out, excited, and we've never taken them before, so this is going to be kind of a big deal for them.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, they're real stoked. And
Are you going to try and get them tickets to the event?
Yeah, so that's the plan. I'm going to try hard. What usually happens, so here's what happens. If I can't snipe the tickets day of, which is often kind of the case, if anyone out there gets extras and as we get closer to the event, you don't have a home for them, just keep me in mind, because it may be that I don't have tickets for the event for them.
You got to leverage the position you're in,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, it is one of the cool things of the year, and I'm very stoked about it. I mean, for me, the two big things of the year are obviously Nerdtacular and this, and they're very similar in a lot of ways because we have a lot of community there and a lot of interested people who love the show, and we love the live show and all the things we do. So hopefully, a lot of that same stuff will happen this year, and should be good. And one would hope or expect we'll get a new expansion announcement at this one. That would be in keeping with their typical pattern, right? Like every other year, it's like they'll announce it, release it the next year, then the following one they'll announce a new expansion. That's usually how it goes, because 2013 is when we got the announcement for Warlords, and then a release the following year. So I have to assume we're going to get
I think you're completely right, and I think we have Overwatch, we'll have WoW expansion, Heroes of the Storm hopefully is out by then. We'll have a
can't stop playing that, by the way.
Expansion.
Cannot stop playing Heroes. I am completely.
It's a fantastic game.
Your problem with Hearthstone, double that with me and Heroes right now. I cannot stop. I'm spending money where I shouldn't. I'm buying things and skins that don't matter.
Yeah, it is. It's when you start seeing like the Seraphim, what do we call them, Tyrael.
Yeah,
that's so cool. And then you start seeing
so rad.
Just all of these different cool things.
Yeah,
and you just come away thinking like, actually, yeah, I think I really need to buy that.
Mm-hmm.
I think my life would be enriched by the purchase of these virtual items.
Sure.
It is. Yeah, you do.
Thrall's the easiest $10 I ever spent. He's awesome.
Oh, yeah. He's phenomenal.
I want to play him all the time. It's like having your own personal Chris Metzen doll running around on the screen. It's amazing.
Elephants guide me.
Yeah.
Game is really good. Anyway, if you want your tickets, here are the specifics. April 15th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Saturday, April 18th, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And they're using Eventbrite, which is interesting. I don't think they did that last year. I think they had their own thing. Did they?
They did use Eventbrite last year. That was the first year last year they used it.
They are $199 each per ticket. That's plus any taxes and fees. You want to check out the BlizzCon ticket webpage.
Do you know why they do it?
Mm-mm.
I think it's because previous years, pretty much year on year, it's crashed whatever service they've had.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, that's not going to happen, I'm afraid. Yeah.
We use Eventbrite for Nerdtacular as well. Not that we'd ever had that kind of load, but they are great. They've been
not
awesome.
that anyone has that kind of load. That's the thing. That's what's just phenomenal about this.
Yeah, they'll sell out in minutes. So if you are smart, you'll figure out a way, and someone always does, and it's always good to see people there, and I'm excited. So bring it on, BlizzCon 2015. 6th and 7th of November. What else? The 2014 Blizzard Stream Awards powered by Twitch are happening. You can vote in each of these categories. I just have a question. It's not really all that newsworthy, but StarCraft 2 and the Heroes of the Storm categories have a category for community show, which are all podcasts. But for WoW, Diablo, and everything else, nothing. It's all streamers, like live streamer categories, and that's it. They don't have any of these community show categories. Why do you think that is? Is it because it's been around too long? Like we've been doing the WoW thing for so long that how could they possibly narrow down that giant list of WoW podcasts into something votable and then, whatever?
I don't think that's a good reason. Because, there's a hell of a lot of streamers out there, and you can just look at the top 10 biggest and be like, okay, we'll choose from these. I don't know. Are we on Twitch with
yeah, we do this thing right here. Yeah, everywhere.
So we're a Blizzard stream on Twitch.
We would have qualified, but like the Heroes shows, for example, and the StarCraft shows they were not Twitch shows. They were podcasts. Some of them don't do anything on Twitch. In fact, they don't live stream anything at all. So
they'd have to though. Surely this is
that's
sponsored by Twitch.
That's why I thought it was
weird. They must do something.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was weird.
They can't do nothing. Yeah. That would be.
Garrett's show Into the Nexus is on there, which is cool. People should vote for that.
There you go.
Yeah. But anyway,
Is the Angry Chicken on there?
no, it is not.
Ah,
That surprised me. It's also no.
Because they were up for one last year, weren't they?
They were, and they're not now. You're not on there. You're not on there for the for best streamer either for Hearthstone.
For
Are you shocked? Are you shocked about that?
Well, exactly. I cannot believe that. I've been streaming now for 3 days, and I'm not nominated for a Blizzard Stream Award.
Yeah.
What more do I have to do, Blizzard?
Yeah. What else?
Seriously, this is ridiculous. And you call yourself in touch with your community.
Right.
Honestly.
It's good money. There's a prize pool of approximately $113,000 for a little more than that. Yeah, for Twitch partner streamers. And the first place winners in each category will take home $2,014 each.
I'm missing out.
Yeah. I'm trying to see where here it is. Favorite Hearthstone streamer. I'll tell you who they got in here. Okay, it's a short list.
Probably gonna be like Trump.
Trump is not. Oh wait, is this year? Yeah, this is this year. So these are people in 2014. So you got Daenerys, Hero Firebat, HS Dog.
So Firebat is the Hearthstone World Champion, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the winner guy. Yeah, I think so.
So that's cool.
He shouldn't be allowed.
Trump should win. Trump's amazing. Crip's fantastic as well.
Trump's not on here. I can't believe he's not on here.
He must be. Trump SC?
He's
not on there?
Not here. How can that be? I hope I'm looking at the... Let me make sure I'm looking at
Are you on the new one?
Yeah,
310. Oh, no, he's not a new one. No,
Yeah.
but there'll be like best. If you go to like best.
Oh, okay. So we got favorite new... Oh, that's new. All right. Most educational... Oh, let's see what the most educational stream is. Trump's on that.
He is very good. Crip as well, I bet.
Yeah.
NL Crip.
Yeah, he's on there.
They're good guys.
Zealot. There's a few others I recognize. Liquid, what's his name, is on there. Okay, hold on. Favorite new WoW streamer. Okay, WoW PvP. All right, I'm just skipping down, trying to find. Yeah, Heroes of the Storm. Okay. Best Heroes of the Storm. Hearthstone streamer. Okay, let's see what we got. Trump SC. He's in there.
There you go. Is Hafu?
Wreckful. Hafu.
Wreck.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Day 9.
Day 9. I mean, Day 9's good. He's a great streamer. I think that
great streaming personality for sure, no question.
He's newer to Hearthstone, I think at least. So it'd be interesting to see.
He's a community veteran, really, and he's been around forever, and everyone loves him. And he's great.
I think he's managed to kind of accelerate his way into those lists, from his StarCraft background.
Sure.
And I mean, he's been playing Hearthstone for a while, I guess. I think it's unfair. Yeah. But still, I think we should have totally won.
Yeah,
so
I think so too. You should be on there. Why are you not on there? I don't understand. Because you're so good. That rank 12, man. I'm telling you. That should have
Well, exactly. Well, I'm ranked 10 now, thankfully. But, there's no idea as to how far I could go.
Yeah. I will say this, because the stream, I mean, Warcraft does have a decent presence on Twitch, and it is nice to see those names in there. But it's funny because you don't normally associate, like I don't anyway, associate, WoW is not only this great game and this big community, but it's also this great streaming thing. I don't think of it that way. But I think of all these other esporty things, certainly is that. I think about, I'm going to play a bunch of heroes, but also I'm going to watch somebody stream his Wind Fury build of Thrall, and I'm going to learn from him. And, I think of that as an esport. I think of StarCraft. I think of League of Legends or Dota or whatever as those things, and certainly Hearthstone's right up there. But I don't normally think of WoW in that way, and that's probably just me. But I guess it's a thing.
I think that's not a completely outlandish point of view to have.
Yeah,
I think the reality is that there's so much going on in the world of Warcraft, and I mean, WoW isn't an esport, and it was never built to be one.
No.
So I think that's the problem for our world that we live in. It's got competitive PvP, but not really. It's like there's some elements that are great.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it is its own thing.
Well, here's a greater philosophical question for you. I was thinking about this the other day. There's a generation, a generation of quote unquote gamers, and I say that because I don't know when they're actually playing, but there's a generation of gamers who don't go to IGN, don't go to Polygon, don't go to whatever to get their gaming news. And we've seen a lot of gaming blogs die and go off into other places or be sold off or whatever lately because, again, we're kind of at a bubble stage for coverage of this stuff, at least that kind of coverage. And what's happening instead is they are flocking in the millions to watch, quite literally, a guy play League of Legends at 2:30 in the morning with screamo metal playing in the background for like 6 hours on end. Like, that is their gaming journalism now in a lot of ways. What do you think of that? Like, to me, that seems like one of the weirdest, most seismic changes. And I'm not trying to Old Man Johnson this and say, what are the kids doing? What I'm trying to do is wrap my head around what that
I
means.
completely understand. I would say that you kind of hit the nail on the head in that it is designed. This is the new way that people consume and enjoy media. It's not journalism in that opinions aren't being structured and formed, and it's more reaction. It's more reality TV in a more sustainable format.
Yeah.
And so YouTube and Twitch allow us this proximity to the creators that we've never really felt before. For everyone who listens to us, you listen to us, and for some people that's a daily thing where you're driving along or walking to work or whatever, or maybe even you're at work pretending to work. But for the most part, you're listening. You're not interacting in any way. Whereas Twitch does allow people to interact together. So you yourself can have some form of typing away and get that instant response. YouTube has the comment system underneath it where you kind of see people just spout noise into the ether and sometimes stuff comes back.
Right.
It's tricky because there, like I said, there isn't really anything like it for in our sort of realm, at least in podcasting. It tends to be a little bit more static, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's also, I just think it's I don't know, it's a different. Once again, it illustrates that there's punk rock and then there's adult contemporary. And what I mean by that is there's something the kids are all gravitating toward. It is hot. It is what is good. It is what they want. But as they get older, their wants and their needs and their desires and their stuff changes. What will they transition to? And maybe it's all set up for us already. Maybe that's what the middle ground of podcasting and the old people watching their daytime soaps is the far other end of it. But my point is that there is a path for them. There's a path that says, all right, well, the punk rock phase is some crazy streamer guy that's screaming about the government and playing Dota till midnight.
Yeah.
But then after that, when you want more, I don't know, thoughtful, because that's what you do. You get older and you start to think in different ways. It's just the way it is. That's just as human beings. Maybe that's podcasting and YouTube, and I don't know. YouTube's in a weird place. It's kind of on both sides in a lot of ways, but I don't know. I just think a lot about this sometimes. Like, the future of all of this is kind of bonkers. It's such
yeah, exactly. I mean, media is shifting. Before, we've been, how do we enjoy and consume stuff? It's been through printed magazines or through broadcast television and cable. We're seeing more and more people now are working under the sort of guise of having the kind of their media is delivered to them through tablets or through phone. We're more mobile than we've ever been before. And equally, like kids, before they had to watch what mum and dad watched on TV, and they had to read what they could afford to buy.
Yeah.
But now, with all this free entertainment out there, and it's entertainment that's delivered through mediums that they can access themselves, like their tablet, their phone, their PC, their games console. All of these things previously that were very one-way have started to become two-way. And I think that really it's less so that media and the audiences are changing, more so that they're expanding. So before, the people who were interacting with us were very kind of defined. They were kind of established, whereas now it's changing by all of these new voices and people coming through. And I don't know. I from what I see it's only going to be more so that as this generation, these younger generations grow up, they don't watch linear TV. They don't watch television when it's broadcast. They still watch TV. You'll still see people, tuning in on demand services like Hulu and Netflix.
Sure.
They still watch television and they love high production valued content still, but it isn't necessarily, at 8 p.m. Eastern or Pacific. There isn't so much the telegraphed like moments.
Sure.
And so it's becoming more dynamic. And for example, my Twitter feed is filled up with my friends and interests, and I get delivered this stream of constant consciousness. And that's brilliant, and that's great for me, and that's how I enjoy consuming my media, my news, keeping up to date with my friends. That works for me. What I don't do is go to Facebook as much.
Yeah.
And certainly you'll see, the younger audience sees Facebook as that thing that mum and dad use. That's really uncool.
Yeah. Which is so funny to me, because it really did go from that's what the cool college kids use to it's grandma's page now.
Exactly. And it's not to say that isn't still a valuable big entity. It's just that new stuff is coming through. And what I don't know, if like within the world of Warcraft, it's been very hard for people to do a Warcraft post Warcraft. And so I don't know if we'll see a social media network or a media platform come along post YouTube, post Twitch, post Twitter, that takes a generation by storm.
Yeah.
Because these tablets, these devices are already so ingrained in our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And maybe the Apple Watch takes off. Maybe we all start wearing that, and then a new bite-size, really clear and easy to view on a tiny screen something comes along and captures our imagination. There's always the possibility that as technology introduces more ways for us to interact with content, that we find more content to interact with.
Yeah.
But the reality is that take us even 10 years ago, it was really hard to do a podcast.
Oh yeah.
It was now it's easier than ever. There's sites where you can host it for free. Buying the recording equipment and the software is cheap and cheerful. There's so many ways to do it that it kind of it's hard to think of real reasons not to if you've got that desire inside.
Well, having worked both ends of that, I can confirm that that's absolutely true. Having done this, 10 years ago, it was a whole different world. And what it is now is a lot easier and everything else. But it's just, it's so funny how it just shifts. Like I was thinking the other day, is Blizzard ready for, if VR truly delivers on what VR is promising? And from a lot of people I talked to, I went to GDC, they are outside of themselves excited about what potentially lies ahead for
everyone
VR.
Loved the what was it?
Valve.
Vive.
Yeah, the Valve thing, or Vive or whatever they're calling it. That thing just nailed it on all counts, and people are talking about real presence in the worlds they were put in, and just mind-blowingly couldn't wait to get back in and only want to be there right now. Like everything else they do now just is like, well, yes, I'm doing all of these things until VR is here, and then I'm going to just drool myself into oblivion in front of that thing. So I thought to myself, well, all right, it's cool because Valve clearly has a big stake in that. Oculus and everybody else trying to get in on it, PlayStation 4 with Morpheus, and I got to thinking, well, what is Blizzard going to do if they do anything? Are they ones to wait 5 years for things to iterate, and then it makes sense? Okay, we've got a new game or a new experience or a new whatever that somehow takes advantage of this, or is it simply they don't care? Do they?
Well, I don't know. I think Blizzard of 10 years ago. Yeah, I think totally. They'd wait. They'd see what's great. What are they enjoying? What are they playing?
Yeah.
Blizzard of today, it seems such a more sort of agile, aggressive company that isn't sitting on its IPs thinking, don't worry, guys, we can rinse and repeat. Another couple of years, we'll put out, Warcraft 8, and then we'll see. They understand that to stay on top, they have to really work hard, be aggressive in their production, but equally they throw away so much as well because they understand that a bad product is a short-term, you might sell some, but then you might sell far less of the next thing. And they're always trying to go forward and own your gaming experience. And Battle.net, the launcher, is the example of that. It takes me away from Steam. When I load it up, I see 5 game logos currently.
Yeah.
I don't see Evolve. I don't see Cities Skylines. I don't see all these games that I have that I want to play and I enjoy playing. I fire it up habitually and I see, oh, yeah, I'll log into WoW actually. I finished playing a bit of Hearthstone. I'll go into WoW. And I come out of that, oh, maybe I have a quick game of Heroes with some of my friends.
Yeah.
You know, you're in their ecosystem.
Sure.
But they know they need to fill their ecosystem with content to keep us within that bubble.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're, like I said, they're the smartest people out there. And
yeah, I feel like
sure.
I feel like you're right. It would be a real shame if I don't know. I just don't know what VR's got all these promises. Who knows if it delivers on any of it? But I mean, this fall you can buy the Valve one. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah, and like I said, some of the stuff is great. Some of it requires like Connect style big living rooms that some people don't have. But there's always going to be those tricky early years. But I don't see why not that Blizzard won't, you know, dip a toe in and just see, you know, what can we do in this space? What do we do in the world of VR? What is a Blizzard VR experience like? And I can only kind of dream about some of the amazing things that you could do with the characters and worlds that Blizzard has. Like, could you imagine like a story book, you know, like Warcraft Adventures? You know, they were having, you know, Thrall and, you know, you were as a point and click adventure. Could you imagine that, but in a VR first-person thing where you had to walk into Orgrimmar and you look around and you see the towers above you. You know, you see a wyvern fly over, casting a shadow.
If that's all they gave me,
Saurfang comes up to you.
Yeah.
Like how cool!
Oh my gosh! If all they gave me was just is Azeroth as a giant virtual space to navigate and
because the thing is already what we've seen are people taking the existing technology, and you can use an Oculus Rift and a omnidirectional treadmill, and you can play WoW. Mm-hmm. And there's videos on YouTube of people doing that, and they're walking around Stormwind. You know, what happens obviously is a guard walks right through them, and you know you have a Patrick Swayze ghost moment, like oh my god, oh wait, okay, yeah, it's all fake. But when you don't get brought out of it like that, just it's a phenomenal premise that you can have that sort of fun and experience within a game.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's that stuff. This is incredible, and if Blizzard can do whatever Blizzard's going to do in that space, we know they're going to. I just am very curious.
Well, even then, Scott, I mean, you're old enough to remember when VR was going to be a thing before. Just as 3D kind of had its resurgence,
sure,
you know, within movies, and it's stuck around. Mm-hmm. Some people have 3D TVs, but do we care?
This is different, though. This is different this time because it works like it never worked before. Even the DK1 Oculus, which I have here, it freaking works. It's got its problems. It's low resolution. It's, you know, it's got some weird flickering. All those things that they've worked out with these newer dev kits, but at the core of that thing, it freaking works, and it's never worked before. Like all the promises before, bullcrap. This finally is a thing that works. So yeah, it's still a little gangly and big. Sure, it's, you know, going to have a lot of revisions before it becomes a thing that is more portable and, you know, less wires and all this other stuff. But it actually freaking works. Now, you know, the first couple of years are going to be very early adopter. I'll probably be one of them. But it just seems like it behooves Blizzard and companies like Blizzard to think forward on that stuff, and they probably are. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm sure they've had plenty of meetings about this. They do this all the time. So, yeah, whatever they do, I'm very anxious to do. I just can't imagine what it'll be. It would have to be something new. You know, they're not just going to go...
That being said, Scott, at the same time, you know, mobile games and devices are bigger than ever.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the money is. They've managed it with Hearthstone. Hearthstone exists on that platform now. But why don't we have an experience within... you know, Warcraft or Warcraft's IPs at least? You know, there's got to be reasons for us to use these other devices.
I agree.
And Blizzard has a team. They've got all of these things. And that is a really established, available, massive thing that we don't see being exploited by Blizzard. So I think VR is probably a little way away for Blizzard. But I think that it would be great to see...
anything, you know, turn-based Warcraft. I'll take whatever. I mean, the fact that, you know, they're really the only foray there is Hearthstone, and it's only tablets right now, and then phones coming later. But yeah, they are woefully behind in that way, or maybe not behind, but they're just maybe that agile development that we're seeing from them generally just hasn't extended to mobile yet, and it really does need to, because that space is, like you said, hotter than freaking ever. So come on, Blizzard. I want a turn-based. Give me Warcraft turn-based strategy game. That's what I want. That's my next thing. I'm telling you right now. Just keep it in the IP. Yeah, I'd play that in a heartbeat. Like a what's the
Give me Garrisons. Give me Garrisons.
Garrisons are fine. Funny. I want a whole new game. I want a little story. I want like certain number. What's the game? The not Magic Might and Magic. Those Might and Magic games.
Okay, yeah.
That. That's what I want. I want Blizzard Might and Magic turn-based fantasy mobile game. I'd play that right now. Like, I'd stop what I'm doing right now. I'd hang up with you and I'd play it. That's what I'd do. Yeah.
Very rude, Scott.
Some quick notes from Kaplan's PAX East interview. I thought this was interesting. This is just quick info about some additional stuff about Overwatch. He says it is. So here's some definites. It is not a MOBA/FPS hybrid. So if you thought it was, it's not. I still say it borrows some ideas, but
some of the abilities are like straight out of Dota.
Sure.
And I don't know. I mean, that can certainly be their goal. I think that is personally the easiest way to interact with the idea of what Overwatch is.
Sure. You could actually argue, in fact, I will argue, that MOBAs are lifted a lot of ideas from team-based shooters back in the day anyway. So it kind of is all cyclical. The only real difference is MOBAs tend to be, not all of them, but like Smite's different, but they tend to be these top-down, three-quarter view things that seem like they're born of something else. But gameplay-wise and sort of idea-wise, and let's take down these turrets and move to the next objective and all that, that's Team Fortress mod for Quake 1, for hell's sakes. So I think calling a spade, MOBAs, FPSs, MOBAs, they kind of owe each other a lot, and there's no reason why this game can't have some good inspiration there. It's fine. No single-player campaign at all, he says. Nope, none.
Which kind of makes sense. But what that isn't saying is that there isn't going to be a strong narrative story throughout. We know there is. Mm-hmm. So I think that will be exciting to see how that's delivered.
I agree.
And I think that's going to be, through the mediums that we're talking about, like YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all of those things. I'm sure we'll get bits of story through.
I'm still hoping Netflix, like some kind of,
I think Netflix would
movies.
make sense were it not for the paywall. Maybe they're thinking that's fine if you want the story. Yeah. You can pay the $10 or whatever it is a month to get access to it. I think something like YouTube, which makes it accessible for free, then it doubles up as also a marketing tool where it's like, hey, check out this cool world. If you like this, you can play it over here.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm thinking of more of it's kind of a prestige project to go that way, but to get it on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. It depends what they want.
Yeah, and maybe the movie will have some impact on that. Like how well that Warcraft movie does will determine how much Blizzard wants to put some of their stories perhaps in some of these things. I don't know. Heroes will be assigned difficulty indicators, just like Heroes of the Storm. So if you want to play, I don't know, the new guy, McCree or something, it will say what he is. If he's hard, if he's difficult, if he's easy, whatever. I like that kind of accessibility stuff. Usually you don't see that a lot with shooters, though. It's kind of rare for team-based stuff. Like Team Fortress 2 does not say the heavy is hard to play, but the sniper's a piece of cake. It doesn't do that.
No. But it's an old game.
Yeah.
And I think that's it shows as taste. We kind of want more and more things served up to us on a plate.
Agreed.
And it's just time.
Yeah.
I want to know before taking that time investment.
Yeah.
Am I going to click this button and find it really hard or really easy or hopefully whatever it is enjoyable?
Sure. And some people see that it's hard and that's what attracts them. Others will see that and go, I'll start with this guy. So
no, thank you.
Yeah. Melee DPS is not relatively lower than range DPS. They made a big point about that because people are concerned that melee is there to soak up a lot of damage but isn't fun to kill others with, and that's not true. He says that you'll be able to tear it up with your melee characters. All right, we got calls, we got emails, and they all start with this.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Why, it's the town crier.
Okay, Town Crier, it's time for us to do your phone calls, your emails. Phone calls come to us 801-471-0462, or you can email us, theinstance@gmail.com. Let's start with a call about Sylvanas.
Hey, this is Andrew from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm calling for the instance. I just had a question. What's been going on with Sylvanas? Was it just me, or was she kind of absent during all of Mists of Pandaria? And so far in Warlords of Draenor, I haven't really seen her. She kind of showed up during the trial for Garage, but that's about it. Anyways, love the show. Talk to you guys later.
Yeah, she had a big role in that book in War Crimes.
Yeah, she was massive in War Crimes.
Yeah, but not so much in the game. I don't know why that is. Why do you suppose that is?
I think she was busy playing Hearthstone.
Ah.
Yeah, I see her in there all the time. She's in most of my decks. I think it's tricky because she's such a weird character. She was in the Cataclysm. They fleshed her out a bit, and she picked on a few more sort of abilities and goals. But she seems to be quite focused on. Well, she seems to be verging on becoming a Lich Queen, having a lot of the same things that Arthas has in terms of the Valkyries working for her,
right.
And the Forsaken. If you haven't seen the Heroes of the Storm trailer for her character, go watch it. It's amazing.
It's real good.
It kind of tells the story of her coming to be.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Like, I can't remember really anything particularly happening. She was in.
Oh, she was part of the
Siege
Soul.
Orgrimmar.
She was part of the Soul or Dragon Soul raid. Remember, like the whole, not the raid, but the lead up in the heroics. You had to do all that pre-heroic stuff for the story, and at some point, you're way in the future, and you're fighting her.
You kind of fight alongside her or against her.
I think. I don't remember for sure, but yeah, there was some stuff there in that.
They all went a bit crazy, but she was in the Siege of Orgrimmar, wasn't she?
Yeah,
she was there.
That's true.
And,
it does seem to be
both,
like
both of them. I was like, don't you dare try and raise any of these dead as banshees.
Yeah.
It
definitely is that thing though, where she just kind of pops her head in and then says boo and then leaves. She's not really doing much, and it's I don't know. As the lore goes, she's one of my favorite characters. She's just awesome, and is so tragic and so also badass, and just such a great twist in what happened in Warcraft 3. And she's just great, but I don't know. I don't know why they don't spend more time with her.
Well, exactly. It's tricky to know what's going to happen with her in the future. In War Crimes, in the novel, they build her up to have some shreds of not humanity, but that moral fiber residing within her that potentially are lost through that novel. And then it's just a question of what happens. Maybe she comes across something in alternate universe Draenor that allows her to do something, and we see her. Obviously, it really comes down to where we go next. This expansion doesn't seem to be a story outside of the orcs going back to their ancestral home and meeting these people. Same with the Draenei on the Alliance side. There isn't really a huge amount of Blood Elf story being told. There are some Blood Elves that exist. You've got the Blood Knights, because there's Naru around and there's like other things going on.
Sure.
But ultimately, it doesn't seem like there's a huge amount of scope currently to tell stories for these other characters. There is a quest given by the in the inn in your garrison to recover a silver ranger's arrow that leads to be thought to be her sister's. Who went missing? What's her name? I can't remember.
Tyranny Nod. Whatever. In Hero, she runs around with a moon floating behind her. That one.
No. Is that her?
Yeah.
That's the Alliance one, isn't it?
Well, that's her sister, though, isn't she?
No.
I thought she was.
No.
They're not sisters?
Is it Ilaria?
Oh. No, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm
Ilaria or Ilaria. I think
the
that's
tyranny,
anyway,
the tyranny, whatever is the queen.
Talarian.
Yeah.
But her, Talarian and Khadgar was it Warcraft 2?
Yeah.
I think maybe. But they got lost through portals or something like that. But you start to see that potentially they've found them, or they found a them or something or other that could be a hook to bring Sylvanas in.
Yeah.
She tried to reconnect with her other sister, Verisa, but it didn't really seem like
didn't work out.
that would work out.
Yeah. I put my I mixed my wind runners with my whisper winds. Sorry, everybody. I thought they were all part of the same family. I guess they're not.
They're all elves, but it's very racist what you assumed. Just because they got long ears means they all look the same.
Yep.
But anywho, so there's potential for there to be more Sylvanas story within Warlords of Draenor, but I don't think it's going to be very substantial, if any.
How about a match 3 game?
Maybe, and when you do it, you raise a undead, and you got to build your own army, and then you send your army against someone else's army, and it's like Clash of Clans.
No, I don't like Clash of Clans. I don't want.
Oh, okay, it's like one that isn't that.
I don't want any more of those.
Okay,
and I know that's basically what garrisons are. I get it, but
kind of.
Kind of.
Just without as many time sinks and microtransactions.
And the microtransaction parts are the parts I don't like. Yet. Ooh, that's ominous. All right, here's somebody wants to know how long it took to make this damn game.
This message is for the instance. My name is Macho, Undead Mage on Gorgonash. World of Warcraft came out in 2004, so how long before do you think it took Blizzard to make the game? Like, did it start in the 90s, maybe early 2000s? I mean, making a game takes a pretty long time to make, especially a game like World of Warcraft. And in general, how long do you think it takes games to be made that is like this big? Thanks, guys. Love the show.
Well, not nearly as long as you think. And also remember, we're talking about vanilla WoW, which is nothing like it is today in terms of scope and size.
It was first announced at the European Computer Trade Show in September 2001.
Yep.
It was released in 2004, and development took roughly 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
On boxed WoW.
Yeah.
But really, what you're looking at, what we're playing today, is 15 years of development.
Sure.
You know, it's been continually developed throughout its life, and everything we do now. The next expansion, X7, is being worked on as we talk, as we speak.
Oh, yeah.
Has
been probably for a year and a half or something.
Blizzard.
Sure.
Exactly. And maybe even X8 is being, started to work on at least feature lists drawn up in terms of what's it going to be. There's great fan theories out there about if we went to the Maelstrom and we were, against the Shara, maybe we're going to, instead of garrisons, we'll have boats, and ships, and we're, big pirate galleons that we're filled with things, or all of these things. You get people coming up with ideas, and it's just, what would happen if Blizzard gave us boats? Could we have boat battles? Would it be like Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 and 5, or whichever ones had the boats in? There's always going to be opportunity for new features, and they're going to be working on those straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been so long in development. It's obscene.
Yeah, but even to answer his original question, they were working on it probably since 99, 2000, something like that. And that's interesting because a lot of people are like, wow, Warcraft 3, which launched in 03 or 02 or something. I can't remember now. I think it was 02 or 03.
I think it was 02.
Yeah, that sounds right. That when that hit the street, people are like, whoa, look at the story.
July,
was it 03?
July 1st,
okay.
03, yeah.
So look at the story. This is massive story, and all these new characters and new factions, and they've fleshed all these ideas out that were just a blip on the radar before, but now it's like a full-blown character or idea or story or whatever. And I remember at the time going, man, they've gone crazy in the RTS space. Well, little did we know, they were mid-development on the game that would be the reason for all of that. Warcraft 3, great standalone game, amazing, in the history of RTSs, good job, Blizzard. But it is such a tee up for the bat of WoW, and intentionally so. At the time, you're just like, oh, well, this is really great. But really, what they were doing was saying, we've got to set up all this stuff because when we make an MMO, it is going to be thick with this story, and we need to establish it first. And that's exactly what they did. It's kind of an amazing little feat, It's like an incredible little move on their part to do that.
It's amazing to have that sort of foresight. EverQuest came out March 16th, 1999.
Yeah.
It was spoke of that EverQuest was the inspiration behind Warcraft. They started work on Warcraft 3 in 98. So it was only a year in development when they decided, should we also then start trying to make an MMO based on this as well? Right. And obviously it's such an undertaking that it took, 4 or 5 years later for that to come to fruition.
Right.
But wow, that whoever decided to take a stab at that, good job.
It's incredible. All right, we got an idea for a yearly subscription.
This is Khadija from Culture Rock. I just wanted to chime in on the information for the tokens that they are selling on World of Warcraft. I have to admit that I was really, really hoping for a way to have a yearly subscription rather than paying every 6 months. Now, I realize that a lot of people will just pay and not care, but I am a person that actually has a Christmas fund that they get every Christmas in November. And so if I could have a way to pay for a year subscription at that time, that actually takes a lot of, paying per month off my expenses.
Oh, that was it. How do you feel about a yearly subscription? Would you pay all down once
Well,
if it gave you a big
they did
discount?
the annual pass before, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a commitment
Sure.
that each month I think you got billed, or maybe you could do it all in one. I can't remember. They also obviously gave the incentive if you pay up front. If you do this, if you commit to this, you'll get something extra like beta access or something cool.
Yeah.
I buy time cards. They're really easy, and you can get them online, often cheaper than you would buy the time for.
Mm-hmm.
And you can stack up those and be 2, 3, 4 years ahead, depending on how much you want to spend.
Sure.
At the same time,
is that true
it doesn't
everywhere? Is
hurt.
that all territories, or is that just in the EU? Because I don't think I can
How do
do
you
that
mean?
here. I don't
Well,
know.
you can get what you don't know what.
I don't
Sorry.
know if I can get. Can I buy those same kind of time cards and pile them up like that? I guess I can. And
Yeah,
get
of
those-
course. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You can put in as many 60-day time cards as you want. But on something like G2A, which
Yeah.
all the streamers obviously use, if I go on to try and see if I can find one here. So the marketplace values, it looks to be about $22
Mm-hmm.
for 60 days time. It seems quite a lot, actually. I don't know what that is, but these prices change all the time. You can find things that work for you, that you can get it a bit cheaper,
Yeah.
which is great. And you can add up as much as you want. You can also buy time cards straight through the Blizzard store if you just want to be full on legit and safe. And again, you can stack those up as deep as you want. So you kind of can do it already. It's just a question of whether or not you want to. They already have said that the tokens are going to cost more than a month would cost you with
Right.
money.
Right.
So the only reason to buy them is for gold.
Yeah.
So if you want to sell them for gold, if you want something for game time, buy a game card. Yeah.
I wish I could skin for my monthly thing. Just go skinning. Go kill a bunch of.
You can you can do that. Put it on the auction house, sell it, and then buy the time card with the gold.
token.
It's
Yeah.
just got an extra step involved.
I just want to turn I want to turn skin into an NPC and have him say, "Oh, that's 2 more days."
Oh, these are mighty hides. It's like, yeah, thank you.
That'll
Thank you
get
very
you
much.
through a few raids this week. That's what I want.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I love it's
I'll
always
tell Mike Morheim not to buy that Porsche.
I love that it's the guy in the tavern for Hearthstone that's doing all the talking.
Always. He does everything now.
Yeah.
They've basically got him working overtime. Again, they've had to because everyone's paying with virtual currency now rather than actual money.
Right.
So they can't afford to get anyone else in.
All right, we got a couple emails here. Let's start with this one from Phil, who says, Phil here. Anyways, I was wondering what you guys think about Gameloft's mobile MMORPG Order and Chaos Online, or their MOBA, Heroes of Order and Chaos, or their card game similar to Hearthstone. I forget the name of it. Unfortunately, I have not had any experience with Blizzard games, so I'd like to know how similar they are. Good work on 400 shows. Phil. Oh, man, Phil. They are literally lifted from Blizzard games. There are no Order and Chaos games without the games they're based on, which are the Blizzard versions of those games. I mean, they are literally lifted. Now, their card game came out before Hearthstone and is actually quite different. It's not the same kind of game at all. At least it wasn't when I played it. I don't know if it is
their
now.
IP is based on existing IP, so at least historically it has been.
Totally.
So I mean that. But then you can say the same thing about Dota 2. I went through Dota 2 heroes the other day, and I was just like, Arthas, Footman, Naga, Stitches. You can see all of the heroes. They're the same. They've kept them based on those Warcraft 3.
Yeah, based on the Warcraft 3 mod. Yeah, that's true.
But Gameloft is like owned by or run by Michel Guillemont, who is the brother of Arthur Guillemont, who runs Ubisoft, and it is crazy. I still don't quite understand how they've managed to do it, but they've got like Nova, which is Halo. They've got Modern Combat, which is Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They've got Order of Chaos, which is WoW.
Dungeon. What's the one? Dungeon. It's their Diablo clone.
Dungeon Hunter.
Dungeon Hunter is totally a Diablo clone. Yeah.
The thing is, but the problem is, they're all really good.
They are really
Because
good.
They are aesthetically very similar, but gameplay wise, they play as really good mobile games. And until Blizzard comes along to actually own that space and to Blizzify a space like that, they're always going to be up against people who are willing to put that time and effort in to try and develop and grow that market. Gameloft, like I said, is good enough, but at the same time, Blizzard is just that quality step on top.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
To answer the question, they are similar in kind of aesthetics to a point. But the gameplay tends to be a lot deeper, just not really available on mobile. Except for Hearthstone.
Totally true. The only difference I would say, if the reason somebody asked me once, why doesn't Blizzard sue Gameloft for all of this? And the answer is simple, because then it would open the doors for like, well, why doesn't Games Workshop sue Blizzard for essentially lifting a lot of conceptual ideas out of from StarCraft with Warhammer 40K and with Warhammer with the Warcraft universe. I mean, at some point, you're all kind of riffing on everybody else's version.
Oh, exactly, and that's the thing, and that's a big part. That Mets and a lot of the story guys love is to have this shared geeky thread that ties everything together. I mean, H.P. Lovecraft and Cthulhu, like the old gods in WoW, are all from the Call of Cthulhu, or derived. And then you can go further back and be like, well, the Titans are all based on Norse gods. And, obviously after a while you can argue fair use. But the idea is that these references and these drawing on different geeky things are all great things. And like I said, Gameloft, I don't think are necessarily hurting Blizzard, because I don't think Blizzard has any market presence on the mobile space, really. Hearthstone exists there, but is a different and arguably better game than the Gameloft one. So I don't think they're really being hurt by any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like it was funny around Dota 2 and them wanting to copyright Dota, and then there obviously a lot of the units had to have their names changed in Dota 2 because they were still called like Wisp and like
all right.
Dragon Knight, or there were names that were goblins.
That just recently happened, right? Like the Lich King.
Yeah, exactly. The Skeleton King became whatever
that was. Yeah.
The Wisp is now IO. They've all kind of gone through changing.
Sure, which
and that's fine.
That's totally fine. But I also like the archetypes that Blizzard established. They were strong already, and there's no reason why you can't play with those some. So
exactly, and I'm sure if we were to go back, we'd probably be like, well, actually, Blizzard got the idea from a Wisp from this,
right.
And a Lich is been around in D&D and stuff forever, and all of those sorts of things. It's just all part of making a geeky fun game.
Yeah, in a way, I'm glad they all have decided to share the common sort of Tolkien-esque thing and then just build on their own version. I think that's fine. It is funny, though, to have somebody coming from strictly a Gameloft experience, having never played Blizzard games, yet listens to this show and wants to know if they're similar or not. I just think that is one of the weirdest emails we've ever
I like
gotten.
it.
Yeah, it's good. Here's one from IR Druid. He's level 100 Dark Spear Horde side. He says this. Hey guys, long time listener here. First time I've ever mailed in. I was curious if any other Blizzard games could come to console. Keep up the good work and love the show. So they've done really well at Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition and the previous one on consoles. That thing was really well tailored to console play. They did a great job in making controls and loot issues and all that stuff work on a console. Like, major hats off to that team for what they did there. The only other game I think they're working on or have in play that would work, 2 games. I think they could do a Hearthstone version. You could play that on a console, no problem. Console controllers and all that stuff would work fine. I mean, it wouldn't be preferable, but it would totally be fine. And the other would be Overwatch. I felt when I played Overwatch, I went, oh yeah, this is
This is going to be on a console.
Yeah,
Of course, it's going to be.
No
There's no way
question.
Overwatch isn't going to be on a console.
Yeah, guaranteed.
The
So
interface and everything, there's no reason for it not to be. So
I'll bet you
it will
that's
be.
the first to go. Consoles supporting a lot of free to play now is a good thing, and I think you could see it on PS4s and Xbox Ones, Hearthstone that is. But when it comes to that shooter, I will stake my podcast career on them bringing Overwatch to console. It's happening. Just as a matter of when, but they will. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Final email. It deserves a little music. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. It's going to be a little apprehensive. It's going to be a little dark. Okay. So we're starting with a little dark sound here.
Okay.
Here you go. Keep me anonymous, it says.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I really started.
Who's this from?
This is from, we're going to call this is not their real name. We're going to call them Larry, okay?
Larry, okay.
That is no indication of either gender or name, but that is just who we're going to call them.
Is it Larry David?
No, it's not. He just complained. Here's how it goes. Keep me anonymous, it says. I recently started listening to your podcast, and I heard you make a comment that you thought bots were a thing of the past. I myself am a former bot user, and if you ask, or if you have any questions about what they're really capable of from a purely educational purpose, feel free to seek.
I'm not saying use bots, but
feel free to ask. So it says this: they can do more shit than most people would even imagine. Here's a small example. All right, here you go. This is where the fun begins. I used to click a button, and my character would mine the nodes in my garrison, grab my herbs. Wow. Open my work orders, start new work orders, pick up the Apexis dailies, fly to wherever the Apexis daily that day was, complete it, hearth back to my garrison, and turn it in. I normally click this button right before I climbed into the shower in the morning, and by the time I was done and getting ready for class or having or something, I'd have my garrison chores knocked out without worrying about it. Larry.
That's amazing.
Terpster, jeez! Who knew
That's
you
amazing.
could do your entire game?
Why are we playing this game when we could be having a computer play it for us better?
Because we get banned, you know.
Well, and equally, and we obviously wouldn't have any enjoyment of playing it. What's interesting there is I didn't know that a bot could pick up an Apexis daily quest, know where to fly there, complete the quest. Go back, hand it in. Like that to me is just crazy.
That's intense.
I can kind of imagine a bot that can do like I can run around and pick up your work orders. Mm-hmm. But it kind of shows how I shouldn't be that impressed by how good I am at this game.
Yeah.
Because computers can do it probably as well, if not better.
Well, in some ways, it's amazing to think that it could go inside your mine, know that it's a level 3 mine, know that. And having the nodes be random, know where to go to what node and how to hit it 3 times, and does it drink the coffee while it's in there? like that is a freak. That to me, that is just freaky how that stuff can be automated, and probably kind of hard. If he's doing all of that, like the Apexis Daily stuff, no wonder it's hard for Blizzard to track these guys down, because that just seems impossible. They're looking for weird, erratic behavior, but maybe it's just hard to see.
See, I just can't muster the strength to do the Apexis dailies anymore.
I can't either. Ugh, I hate them.
I'm just like, yeah.
I hate them. I wish they were quicker or something. There's something about, what? It's hit me this week really hard why MOBAs appeal to people. I think I've finally gotten it. I've gotten the rhythm of the play and all the fun and everything, but also I think I understand this feeling of start kind of cool. And by the time you're done with your half-hour match, you're way cool, and you've got awesome abilities, and they've been tweaked out and can do cool things, and you built it a certain way this time. But next time I might build it a totally different way, and that's only another half an hour of playing something. That there's something about that versus gotta grind these these crystals every day for the next 3 weeks so I can afford this PvP gear or whatever. I can see why that's appealing to people with shorter attention spans and a desire to get in and get out. That game, Heroes of the Storm, baby. I cannot believe how into it I am. I came into it hating MOBAs, never liking any experience I had with any of them, to loving this game. And I don't know.
It is
don't know what
amazing.
to make of it. Yeah, it's great. It's really good. Come play with me, people. I've been playing with community members all the time. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Blizzard, how about a bigger friends list than 100? We need that needs to get bigger.
Whammo.
Sheesh.
Us popular people
Yeah.
kind of need to have a bigger friends list.
I had this great plan to play with some people who were all online right then, and I couldn't friend like 10 of them because I had too many people.
I think the problem is in the definition of friend, and I think Blizzard thinks like, really, do you have 100 friends, or do you just want to? And
Well, we're a special case. I get it, but like my PlayStation 4 gives me 2,000 friends, and that's ridiculous.
Hey, you fill them up eventually.
That's ridiculous. I admit, but anyway, if you want to play with me, I'm always on there. Check me out. I'm GURP # something something something. I can't remember it now, so I'll tell you at a different show. That's going to do it for emails and calls. Thank you again for those, everybody. 801-471-0462, or email us, theinstance@gmail.com. All right. I guess that's it. We're done. Do you have anything else you want to mention, talk about, do? Watch for hypothetical help coming back.
Hypothetical help. Keep an eye out. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
We need your calls, so send us calls in, and we're going to need your support as well, because otherwise, Daddy got to get paid.
Yeah, we got to figure out a way to keep that kid in diapers, and
that's the problem. I've already spent her college fund on Hearthstone cards, so I need to put that burden on you.
Have you really spent hundreds of dollars in that game?
Oh yeah,
oh my
easy,
gosh, dude.
easy. Yeah.
See,
I bought hundreds of cards.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. And so, maybe that's my way. I mean, if I could get to rank 10, I'd be happy. I don't have to be legendary or whatever. I can go that. I can go to 10. So maybe my way is to buy my way there.
Well, I'm at 10 now, and I want to get to legend, but 13 days in, can I do it? I don't know. The meta's all over the place at the moment. It's so aggro. I just kind of go in there and get owned, and then I try and play the aggro decks, and I'm not aggressive enough, Scott. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong game. But I'm gonna keep struggling on. I'm gonna do it.
I'll just play
if I
heroes.
don't do it this month,
Yeah.
then screw it. I'm never gonna do it again. No, I'll try again. I'll keep trying.
I'll just play heroes. Everything will be fine. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you all for being here. As always, theinstance.net is our website. You can find us all on Twitter. Patrick, who should be back next week, is at notpatrick, _T, Willie Dills, and me at Scott Johnson. The show is at Instance Show. Big thanks to our intern, Paul Swickert, who does our show notes. If you want to find more great shows like this, head on over to frogpants.com. There's a bunch right over there, soon to be joined by Hypothetical Help one more time.
One more. Come on, we can do it, guys.
One more time. I guess that's it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hang around for the end of the show because I recorded a bunch of pre-show stuff with Terpster and I talking about the Apple Watch. If you're interested in that, you can find it at the end of the show.
We're just going to play that, apparently. I didn't know we were recording it.
Well, I didn't either. But
Can you edit that bit about the ethnic minority group that I was slurring?
Yeah.
I didn't know we were being recorded.
I was going to make that our intro for the show where you
This
said...
is the instance. Yeah, it'd be like, what? I'm not sure. What? Did he say that thing about the... Oh,
I don't like brown people or whatever you
said.
Yeah, that'll be
Words
good.
in my mouth. Words in my mouth there.
So how is the baby? Everything good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
good.
sleeping
Tiring,
well and all that?
But she no, she doesn't like sleeping.
Yeah,
she
not a fan.
much prefers being awake, and I can't blame her really. You know, I was trying to think like, hang on, you know, if I had the opportunity of being awake with this or asleep, not enjoying this guy, I would be awake.
I would be
so
too.
I get why she doesn't like sleeping. She sees that as, hang on, but Daddy could be being funny right now. I'm missing out.
Yeah.
So
it's funny.
sadly,
They'll either
it's very
sleep.
tiring.
They'll either not sleep when they're babies, or they'll sleep a ton. And either way, whatever happens then will be the opposite when they're older. So Nick hates sleep now. He wants to be up all the time, but as a baby, slept all the time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't, as long as I get to sleep at some point, that would be great. Scott.
He's playing a lot of Hearthstone as well.
There you go.
And had a fight, had an argument with a friend at school about about you.
Oh, really?
Because the kid was
said, that guy's an idiot.
He was well, Nick he was talking about Yogs and some other stuff, and Nick was saying, "Oh yeah, we know Terpster. He comes here for Nerdtacular. We see him whenever, and you know he's works with my dad on stuff." And this kid absolutely would not believe him, to the point that now he almost is requiring like an AMA style, like photo proof that you exist. So I told him, I said, look, I'm not going to get that for you. If you want him to do that, you'll send a nice little email.
Yeah, exactly. No, just tell me, give me, well, I'm not saying give me his number. I'll record a message to that punk.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Nick Johnson again. I will find you, and I will kill you.
Yeah. He didn't believe any of
I
that.
won't kill you, and I won't find you. I'm not that bothered. But don't doubt Nick.
He also doesn't believe
Bam.
that Metzen's coming in Intertacular. He just doesn't believe it.
I don't believe that, in all fairness. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that bullshit to be
the
discovered.
truth. It's the truth. Look, if I show up with a sweet goatee and a leather jacket, then you'll know the
That's what
gig
you're
is
gonna
up.
be like, where's my horde at? And everyone's gonna be like, Scott, man, come on. That's unfair. I bought a ticket to this shit.
Yeah. I was
man.
promised real Metzen.
Exactly.
All right. Have fun. Do that video sometime this weekend, will you? And send it to me.
I will do.
And we'll hook up and get it all taken care of.
Okay.
All right,
cool.
man. Have a good one. It's good to see you. Talk to you later. Off he goes. Thanks, everybody, for being